Hi there, Laura Wilson here. Today I am talking myself out of buying a couple of palettes, and I'll show you which ones I've been interested in. So one of them is this Rimmel palette here, and it's the Jewel Rocks edition of the new Magnify Eyes eyeshadow palettes from Rimmel. And I actually saw this when I was in Australia, but I didn't buy it. And then I've been seeing it online on YouTube and thinking I'd quite like to get that one, because to me this palette, especially if you miss out the blue and the teal there, reminds me a lot of all the spring colours I like to wear. A lot of people on YouTube have been saying it's a great autumn palette, but to me it's a great spring palette for me. So that was one of them, and the other one I was interested in was the Electric Violet. Now the Electric Violet one I didn't see in person because they didn't have it, but so the reviews are a bit up and down on YouTube. Some people say it's a fabulous palette, but there's a couple of colours like this teal here, and there's one of the blues, and I can't remember which other colour. It doesn't have a lot of colour payoff, and some of them were saying that some of the purples weren't as bright as they could be, but those purples are really appealing to me. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my colourful palettes and see what I can find that would create this kind of vibe, with the kind of looks I'd want to create with this palette. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm not trying to dupe this palette exactly. I just want to get the general idea of it. So I'm going to just go through the colours in order and see which ones I think will be good. So forgive me if my fingers and things are a bit dirty, because I've done this once before, and when I looked at the footage you couldn't see my arm half the time. So my arm was down here and you couldn't see what I was doing. So I have got some better lighting arriving. I've ordered some, so we will have more luck with lighting in the future. So I'm just going to do the best I can for now, because it won't be here for a couple of weeks and I don't want to just not film anything until then. So let's have a look at what we've got. So the palettes that I'm going to be looking at are mostly BYS palettes, because that's what I've got a lot of. So I'm going to use the BYS Fantasy palette, the BYS Highlighter palette, the BYS Fantasy palette, the BYS Berries 2 palette. I'm not sure if I'll get anything out of there. The BYS Berries palette, because it's got a couple of purples in it. The BYS Rebels palette. And I've got the LA Girl Neons. And running out of room. Got the Profusion Beauty 101 palette. So I'm going to go through here and see which colours I think closestly resemble what I see in this picture. I'm not reading the descriptions. I have seen them swatched on YouTube, so I have an idea of what kind of colours I'm looking at, but I don't need to be exact. I just need to get the general idea. So that's what I'm thinking. So the first colour I'm going to go for is this very light champagne colour. Now I haven't got my neutral palettes out here, but in fact that colour is probably very similar to what's in my palette. First Profusion one, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see that because it looks like my skin. And then the next colour is Taupey Brown, and then we've got a pale, kind of dusky looking pink by the looks of it. Can you see that one at all? This one here looks very similar as well. So I've got a couple of options there. This one might even be another option. One's a bit more purpley. Just going to turn the light out and see if you can see that any better. Is that better? Maybe better with the light out. So we've got, what was that doing? Okay, so now we've got kind of a, let's have a look, sort of a grey purple with a shimmer in it. So I'm going to use this one here for that. And then the next one is a brighter purple, which I'm going to use this one. That's really pretty. And then the next one looks like a silver. I would say it was a light silver. So got a light silver there. I've also got a light silver in the Rebels palette. So I've got two silvers. They look pretty much the same. So you can see that they're silver when I turn the light on because they're shining. And the next one is that kind of tealy blue colour. So I'm going to use that one for that. You can see that. And then the next one looks like it's a shimmer as well. So it looks kind of like it's kind of a shimmery blue. I don't have a lot of shimmery blues. So that might be a colour that I don't really have. I do have some kind of matte blues. So I've got this kind of navy one. I think that's more, oops, I think that's more like the last colour. So I'll take that one off. So there's a couple of colours there I can't find, so we'll miss that one out and go to the next one. So the next colour looks like sort of a bright shimmery purple. So I've got three different shimmery purples there. Oh, can you see? And then the next colour is a grey, and it's a flat grey. It's not a purple grey. Got flat grey here. And then we've got that sort of navy shimmery purple there. So the only colour that I really can't see anything for was that blue, but this one's a sort of a grey blue. May not be as blue as what it is in the palette, but could possibly make it a bit more blue with mixing something into it. It made it more purple, but that's pretty close actually. So I used what did I use? So I used a bit of this and a bit of that and mixed it together with a bit of the matte, and I got something that looks similar, I think. So I'll turn the light on and see if you can see colours. So basically I have something very similar to all those colours, if not very much the same. So I don't really need that palette. I can make plenty of looks, and I've got more purples than what is in that palette anyway, because there are some purples I haven't even dipped into, like this fun pinky purpley colour here, and this pinky purpley colour here, and this pinky purpley colour here. Yeah, so I've got more. Oh, and I've also got this beautiful highlight colour that is just beautiful as well. Can you see that? Let me turn the light back on. So you can't really see the highlighter colour very well, but it is a beautiful purple shade that would fit in with all these purples. So really, I don't need this palette. I've got everything I need to get the general vibe of this palette. So that's good, I think. So here's the Jewel Rocks palette that I was eyeing up as well. So let's go through and see what I have got that is like this one. So I'm going to be using the same palettes for this as I was using for the other one. So it's got, oh, I need to use my other hand so you can see what I'm doing. It's got kind of a yellowy, creamy champagne colour. So it is with a sparkle. Can you see that at all? Yep. And then there's sort of a light sagey green kind of colour. It looks more green and, oh, put that on the wrong swatch. Looks more green on some of the colours than others. So they're both shimmery, and when I turn the light off, you can see a bit of the green. It's a bit hard to tell with those pale colours. And the other one is a matte mustard. The only matte mustard I have in all my collection is from this Rimmel UAS palette. But how many matte mustards do you need? Because how often will you wear it? I know yellow's all the rage at the moment, and I like yellow, but I don't think it's going to be one of those things that stay around for a long time. I think it's just going to be a seasonal colour. And then we've got, next to that, is a shimmery gold in the same kind of shade as the mustard. So that one may be a little dark. But I do have some other golds in some of my other palettes, but don't think I need to go looking for those. That one's quite light. That's from the Rimmel palette. And I've also got the highlighter one, which is more of a champagne-y one. So I've got a few options in the gold that I can mix together to get that other colour there. Now let's have a look at this green. So this is a matte sort of foresty green, and I'm going to get the green out of the Rebels palette. It's out of frame there, you can't actually see it, so it's this one here. So that looks like it would be good enough. And then what have we got? Got another green. a lighter green, sort of a sagey light green. So this one's pretty good for that. And that's a shimmer as well, and I've got a shimmer as well. I've also got this LA Girl pencil. There is a nice sage green, so that would be good with that as well. And then we go into the more kind of reddy brick colours. And I think I'll go into the Spice palette. I could go into my BYS Berries palette because I do have ones there that are very reminiscent of those. So I've got those two. I've also got the Spice palette. This one here. You can see how pigmented that is. Yeah, so I've got plenty of options for that terracotta colour, and I'm sure in some of my other neutral palettes there are some other terracotta colours. I wouldn't be surprised. And then the next colour is the same as the terracotta, but it's a shimmer. Some pictures it looks quite pink, and in the swatch picture it looks terracotta, so I could go several different colours in this palette. They all look very similar, but any of those would do. What have I got in the berries palette? If I wanted to go more pinky, then this one is a little, it's like a copper pink, but it's pretty similar. That one's a pretty one. That one reads a bit, oh sorry, you can't see that. That one reads a bit more pink. So I've got plenty of options for that as well. Got a ton of options for terracotta-y, pinky, browny kind of shades, coppery shades. So that wouldn't be hard to find. Now the next colour is another turquoise, and I'm going to use the other turquoise this time. So I'm going to guess it's kind of that turquoise. So. And then the next colour is a blue. Now I haven't got a blue that exact colour, but I'm thinking if I mix the navy blue and that bright blue together, I'm going to get something pretty close. It looks like a shimmer in the picture. I think that's pretty close to what that would be. And the next one is a bronze. Now, I'm sure I've got plenty of bronzes in various palettes. So it could be this one, or it could be, or I could go darker. Oops, can't even see where I'm going. Or I could go more brown if I wanted to. That's very skin-like taupey brown. Or I could even go more goldy. What would happen if I mix those two together? That looks pretty close. So if I mixed this bright goldy colour with this brown colour, so that was that colour and that colour I mixed together, that colour and that colour, and got something very, very close to what that is. Now the last colour, I'm not not sure about the last colour. I may not have the very last colour. So it's a green. It's kind of a more cool green, sort of a grey green. So maybe no, it's too bright. I was just trying out an idea. So it's kind of a grey green. So I'm just going to mix a little on my arm and see if I can get something I think would be similar. Where's my Rebels palette? Maybe this one. This could be close. So I've got a sage green and I've got a silver with a touch of turquoise. That looks pretty close. So if I do a bit of mixing, I have actually got something very similar to that. Now, I'll turn the light on and see if that helps at all. So I can sort of get the vibe of this palette pretty well. I might just insert a picture so you can see properly. So I think that really I don't need this palette either, because I've got enough colours that I can pretty much get whatever look I was going for with that palette. So the only other palettes that I thought that I would like, which I'm not going to have a look at this stage, was the Emily Edit ones from Makeup Revolution. This was Emily Noel's palettes that she's just brought out. I doubt I would get them anywhere around here, around New Zealand, around where I live anyway, because they just don't sell Makeup Revolution anywhere where I live. And one of the ways I save money on my makeup is that I don't actually buy any makeup online. So that's why you see a lot of drugstore makeup. I don't have any of those Too Faced palettes or Anastasia palettes or any of those popular palettes that you see all over YouTube, because I don't buy anything that I can't get locally. And that helps me save money, because I just think if I'm going to buy palettes and things online, that's just a slippery slope into spending way too much money. So when it's the Emily Edit palettes, the Needs palette and the Wants palette, when I saw those being advertised, it's the first and only time I've ever been tempted. And I actually looked them up online. It's the only time I've ever looked up palettes online. But to get them and to get them shipped to New Zealand, they would just be too expensive. It wouldn't be worth it. And I'm sure if I went through all my colours like I did with those last two palettes, I would probably find I had a lot of those colours very similar anyway. And I might do that another day, but I'm not going to do that today because I can't be bothered. I've had enough playing with my makeup just for now. But that was an interesting exercise, and I was amazed how many colours I got from this Beauty 101 Profusion palette, which, if you saw when I was talking about my palettes in my collection when I was doing my inventory, this was one that I brought mostly because it reminded me of the very first palette that I'd ever brought. A lot of those colours came out of here. So I said then I should use this palette more, and this is just convincing me I should use this palette more than I do. So that was interesting. So if you've got some palettes that you think you'd really like to purchase and you've got quite a lot of makeup, then I suggest you go through your makeup first and see what you've got, because maybe you don't need that palette because you've got enough similar colours. They may not be exact, but once they're on the eye, it doesn't really matter as long as you get the general vibe of it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.